I'm wary of the counterattack right now. And that you guys see coming up is the Nidus Network, the new Nidus Canal for the Zerg. And I haven't really been able to use that building all that much either. And the Nidus Network is a very, very cool addition to the Zerg in Starcraft 2. And I guess I'll go ahead and explain the Nidus Network a little bit. It's basically like a Nidus Canal, except you have to spawn a Nidus Worm in order to make an exit point. And the Nidus Worm costs 100 minerals, 100 gas, but you can make it anywhere you see. It doesn't require creep. And once you make the Nidus Worm, then you can bring all your units out of the Nidus Network where the Nidus Worm is, and it works two ways. So you can bring it back and forth between the worm and the network. And it does hold an unlimited number of units. So very, very cool modification to the old Nidus Canal, and it's easily accessible at layer tech. And here we go, summoning a Nidus Worm for 100 minerals, 100 gold. And I'm loading up the Nidus Network now with all of my units, and as soon as this worm pops out, makes that roaring sound, it's able to unload all those units. And here we go, Lings and Banelings coming into my opponent's main base. My opponent is not aware of this. Now he brings in his Banshees. And I'm going to try to get some SCV kills. A lot of them do get out of the way. But meanwhile, my opponent is not mining at all. He does kill the Nidus Worm, however. And my Lings and Banelings are still in my opponent's base, just keeping my opponent from mining. Meanwhile, I'm going to expand while attacking. And my opponent here has actually got 4 starports. So this is quite interesting. I take down the engineering base. This was almost dead anyways, but I've discovered that my opponent has 4 starports, which is almost like an all-in air cheese build. And there's actually a random Reaper coming in there. I'm going to take care of that, but 4 starports, that's going to be a lot of Banshees, so I've got to be careful about these Banshees. They can be very deadly worker raiders. So I do have an Overseer in case the Banshees have invisibility researched. And I've got to be really careful. That's why I'm getting these Hydralisks now, which are able to attack air, and hopefully we'll be able to keep those Banshees away from my workers. And in that last attack, I'm not sure if I was able to kill that many SCVs, and actually my opponent is coming in with those Banshees right now. And unfortunately, my gold expo, the 3rd expo, has been discovered. I canceled that hatchery. And the only anti-air I have right now is really these Hydralisks, which are really, really slow now. They don't have a speed upgrade anymore. And they move even slower off the creep, so they're not actually the best anti-air anymore. It's very hard to use them to move around from expo to expo to defend against an air attack. So these Banshees are keeping me inside the base. And there's really not much I can do right now until I can get a Spire up and get some anti-air of my own, such as the Corruptor. And I'm hoping the Corruptor will be able to deal with these Banshees. And as you guys can see, 1 queen is all you need for 2 hatcheries. You can just use the queen moving back and forth, continuing to spawn larvae on each hatchery. But eventually you do want to get 2.
We require more minerals.
And as you guys can see, moving out with this mixed army here, a couple of Lings, Banelings, and Hydras, and I'm going to move into this natural and try to do some damage at the front door. And let's see what I can do here. The Lings go in first to draw some of that fire. The Banelings really need to get in there and hit that mineral line. And here they go, but oh, the Planetary Fortress and the Banshees take out all the Banelings. And unfortunate for me there, I wasn't able to do much damage at all. So I have to pull out my Hydras. So that was another pretty much fail attack on my opponent's front door.
We require more minerals.
But luckily, I think I've got enough Hydras to deal with his Banshees. But I really do need to get some Spire air units out if I want to be able to move out and get some map control here. And I desperately need a 3rd base as well.
We require more minerals.
And as you guys can see, researching Hydralisk range there, that is the only upgrade at the Hydralisk den now. They did remove the speed upgrade, so Hydralisks are really, really slow. And my opponent here has actually gotten some Vikings there, if you guys caught a glimpse of that. And here is my first Corruptor, my first real way to deal with anti-air.
We require more minerals. Our forces
And those Vikings are just going around the map, picking off my Overlords. I'm actually under supply right now, 71 out of 60. And that is, holy crap, a lot of Banshees in the air right now. And so I've got to get my Hydras in position to intercept these Banshees, but no, the Banshees come straight from my natural. I'm running the drones away, and I've got to get these Banshees out of the base. They do so much damage. My Hydralisk getting up in the mix, and this could be a close fight, but my opponent backs away. And that battle could have very well gone in his favor, so a bit of a break I catch there as my opponent backs away, and I got to get my drones back to work. But I'm finding myself very much under a lot of pressure from these Banshees. I can't really move out until I get enough Corruptors to deal with those Banshees. And these Hydralisks are just not fast enough anymore to deal with anti-air as they used to be.
more minerals.
And so I am moving that drone out, trying to capture a third expansion anywhere I can, because I really do need some more minerals at this point. And I see my opponent moving in with a lot of his Banshees here. My drone gets taken out almost instantly, but I see my opponent is getting a command center up there, so I'm going to try to get my Hydras up there and kill that CC before it can get up and running. And I do have a pretty large force of Hydras here. I'm moving in, but my opponent lifts off his command center and is floating it away, and unfortunately I'm going to have to back my Hydras along the long route. And meanwhile,